Ousmane Dembele's career has been a roller coaster, but this year, the season 24-25 has been the pinnacle of his career, and he will rightfully win the Ballon d'Or for his sensational season. I'm going to be talking about Ousmane Dembele, his roller coaster career, and why he fully deserves the Ballon d'Or for the season that he just had. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications, add up my social media, which will be down in the description below. Let's get into this. Ousmane Dembele, obviously, his career started off at Rennes when he was developing into being one of the biggest prospects in world football, which earned him the move to Borussia Dortmund. Then the season that he had, the 16-17 season, is where the world started getting put on notice. I know around them times, his countryman, Kylian Mbappe, was stealing the headlines. Not stealing, but he was creating headline after headline. Whilst Ousmane Dembele, he was getting spoken about, but not to the same levels. But for his career at Borussia Dortmund, he played 50 times for Borussia Dortmund, got 10 goals and 21 assists. In that 16-17 season, he got double digits in assists in the Bundesliga. Like, he was taking the league by storm. And he was a unique type winger because not only did he have pace, but he also had trickery, he had end product. And the thing about Ousmane Dembele, I've never seen a two-footed player like Ousmane Dembele. Like, it was a joke what he was doing in that league. Which, obviously, Barcelona sold Neymar, which they had to replace him, innit? And they put all their eggs in Ousmane Dembele, so they had to pay over 130 plus for Ousmane Dembele. I don't know the figures to the exact, but it was around the 130 million mark. And pressure was immediately on Ousmane Dembele because it's not easy filling the boots of Neymar Jr. Because what Neymar Jr. was doing in them 4 seasons at Barcelona, it was magical. But Ousmane Dembele obviously arrived at Barcelona and he spent 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 20, 21. He spent, I think, 6 seasons at Barcelona. 6 seasons. But it was ridiculed by injuries, lack of consistency, and also problems with the hierarchy at Barcelona. Don't get me wrong, there was flashes of brilliance from Ousmane Dembele, but it wasn't consistent, and he was going through major issues at Barcelona. At this time, 185 games, 40 goals and 41 assists. Obviously, it's not a bad return, but for the fee that he went for, it's massively underwhelming. If people label him a Barcelona flop, which if you class Dembele as a Barcelona flop, then I wouldn't really argue with it. But I think it was underwhelming because unlike the other signings, Coutinho, Griezmann, he actually had flashes of brilliance, whilst them two, they done absolutely nothing for Barcelona, in my humble opinion. So, yeah, man, Ousmane Dembele, it was a turbulent 6 seasons at Barcelona, and it was time for a change. Xavi Hernandez, which was the Barcelona manager, he actually had high faith in Ousmane Dembele, and I think in the 22-23 season, he was actually performing well. He was more consistent in the 22-23 season than he was in any other season he was at Barcelona, in my humble opinion, which I think they won the league that season, breaking records, clean sheet record after clean sheet record. So, yeah, that was Ousmane Dembele, but it was time for him to move on. He went to PSG, back to his country, not exactly a new environment because he's familiar with the country because he was born there. But Ousmane Dembele is back at home, went to PSG. The first season, though, it was a stinker. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, against Barcelona in the knockout stage of the Champions League, he turned up. But overall, he played a grand total of 42 games across the 23-24 season, 6 goals, 14 assists, 10 assists in the league, 3 goals, Champions League, 2 goals, 1 assist. Yeah, man, it was not great. Numbers-wise, it wasn't great, and the consistency was still a problem. Internationally for France, the consistency was still a problem. He's a World Cup winner, but he didn't really play a big part in that. And the 2022 World Cup, that final, I thought that first half performance in the final would have tarnished his reputation forever because it's one of the worst it's one of the worst individual performances of any player in the World Cup final ever. But after the 2023-24 season, his stocks was low. Obviously, it was Luis Enrique's first season. They got rid of Mbappe, so Luis Enrique wanted to take full control of the team, implement his philosophy, his ideas, and the players had to follow, with Ousmane Dembele being the leading star in the attack. And the rest is history. Because this season, Golden Boot in Ligue 1 as PSG won the league at a canter, almost went the season unbeaten. 29 games, 21 goals, 8 assists. In the Champions League, turned up in knockout stage every round, scored against Liverpool in the round of 16. Arsenal scored the decisive away goal. Even away goals doesn't count. Away from home, they won 1-0. Got the goal, crucial goal. Then the assist in the second leg for Hakimi. And then the final, magical performance. Got an assist in the final. It was a magical performance. It was basically what Ousmane Dembele's final performance epitomized is a work of art. Because he showed attackers in the world how to drop deep and affect games. He showed attackers in world football how to cause defenses serious problems, and he done just that in the Champions League final against Inter Milan, and that all but sealed his Ballon d'Or in my opinion. So in total, he had 53 games, 35 goals, 16 assists, and in the Club World Cup, 2 goals, 1 assist. The 2 goals came against Real Madrid in the semi-finals of the Club World Cup. Like, he was magical, and Dembele, the first time in his career, he hit elite levels, and now I can class him as an elite player because he always had the talent, Ousmane Dembele. It was just about like maturing your game, developing more experience, pick your moments on when to dribble, when to pass, when to affect games in different ways. Because coming up against different oppositions, you need to change your game slightly, and Ousmane Dembele has done that to an absolute T. That PSG side is filled with stars, don't get me wrong, but he is one of their most important players. He is the brain in that attack. He is the star man in that attack, in my humble opinion. And without him, especially the way he leads the press as well, his defensive work, without him, I don't think they win the trophies that they won, in my humble opinion. So, Ousmane Dembele, sensational player, man. What a season he has had. I know, the final against Chelsea when PSG got beaten 3-0, he was terrible. But the season that Ousmane Dembele had, he is allowed to have an off game. And unfortunately, he came in the final. But PSG's been cleaning up everything this season, so he's entitled to have a bad game. So, Ousmane Dembele, he has reached the pinnacle. Can he stay as the best player in the world for this season? I think he can, because he has all the fundamentals, and now he is the complete player. He can play across the front three. He's both-footed. He can dribble. He can pass. He can shoot. He has so much power in his shots. Yeah, man. He's sensational, man. And he got voted Champions League player of the season. And French football does the Ballon d'Or. This is an easy one. Easy, man. He fully deserves it. So big up Ousmane Dembele all day, every day. And hope it continues, because I like watching players that came through adversity and now developed themselves into a superstar. And that's what Ousmane Dembele is. So, thank you guys for watching. New video coming out very soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, man, keep subscribing. Love.